Hi guys, welcome to Happy Visas. Sunny day in Moscow. My name is Philip Port. I've been an immigration advisor for 20 years, and today I'm going to update you important information about the supporting documents to apply for the general visit visa to the UK. Some people call it a tourist visa, and the general visit visa covers the business visa as well. So a lot of subcategories in the general visit visa, like medical visa, business visa, etc., etc. So I'm going to start with the tourist visa first. It's better to include in these crazy times, this crazy world, it's better to include now at least 3 months bank statements showing your income from either employment or self-employment. Better to include that. I know it's a hassle, especially if you've got to translate the document. It starts to get expensive, but I think the bare minimum now, better to include 3 months bank statement showing your income from employment. Show the invitation letter, show that you've got friends or family in the UK. So if you've got, if you're visiting friends, that's a plus. If you've got family, even a bigger plus. Show them, explain the relationship, explain how you met, things like that. Now, regarding the hotel booking, let's say you're not staying with friends, let's say you're not staying with family, I just normally put where I plan to stay now. I explain that there is, due to long delays, I'm not sure if the visa will be issued on time, so I plan to stay at this hotel subject to availability. And I haven't had a problem. Everybody's getting the visas without a hotel booking. So I just explain it, have you got accommodation? No. Then when it asks you to explain why, I just simply put, subject to availability at the time of booking, I plan to stay at this hotel. And that has sufficed. Employment letter, that should have, it shouldn't be older than 28 days from when you apply online. So when you submit in pay, it shouldn't be older than 28 days. And what it should have is your start date, your position, a little bit of a description about what you do for the company. So if you're an economist, explain a little bit about that, your responsibilities, what you do. So, that's important, obviously. So just to recap, salary, start date, position, valued member of staff, and that you're given paid leave from this date till that date. And that's basically all you need. If it's not clear what the company does, maybe mention in the employment letter, we are an importer of goods, or we're an internet service provider. Just put a little bit of things on there about what the company does, and also make sure in the letterhead it has the website address, so the entry clearance officer, if he wants to check, he can check, he can go on there. Now, to show family ties, show that you own a flat. If you've got the title deed, let's say you're applying in Russia, show the title deed. If you're renting, show the tenancy agreement. I always do a summarized translation, and I put it on there. You don't want to be translating 6-7 pages of text for a tenancy agreement. So just on that, you can do a summarized translation, put it at the top, summarized translation of a tenancy agreement, and just put the main details, your details, the landlord's details, and how much rent you pay, and the duration of the tenancy. That's what I do in that instance. Obviously, I've just said, show the marriage certificate, that shows family ties. Show the children's birth certificates if you have children. If they've got passports, even include a copy just to show the relationship. You're not going to leave your family over, you're not going to go to the UK and leave your family in Morocco or in Russia or wherever you are. So it's important to show family ties. If you've got travel history, superb. If you've got a Schengen visa or an Australian or American visa, include a copy of that. I always upload every page of the passport. If it's a spouse application, not more than 2 megabytes. If it's just a normal general visa application, then it can be up to 5 megabytes. A little tip, no lines or asterisks in the naming of the document, because it will not allow you to upload it. Another little tip, if it says virus, convert it into JPEG and then back into PDF. That will, allow you to upload it. Just little tips there. It's so annoying that, all the time I'm uploading documents and it says this has a virus and things like that. Just on the invitation letter, show the history of the relationship, show that you've met, show that you're in regular contact with family members, get them to mention, I visited my sister or my cousin in Russia, now she's visiting me, here's some photographs to show that we're in regular contact. So I'm just going to recap what are the most important documents: employment letter, invitation letter, bank statements. They're the most important documents. Now, if you are self-employed, I'm going to move a little bit over here. I can hear a lot of drilling going on, so I'm just going to head back in this direction so there's no distortion. So if you're self-employed, your sole trader certificate, or your EP as we call it in Russia, your entrepreneur certificate, show the business income as well. The business income has got to be separate from your savings, because if you supply your business statements and nothing else, what will happen is they'll say, well, this fund is not yours, it's your business, and we don't know if that's available to you. They don't always do it, but I get a lot of refusals on my desk. A lot of people come to me when they've had problems, not before, and then all of a sudden I get to read the refusals, and it says, well, you've supplied the business bank statements. How do we know this money is available to you? It's for your business, it's for trading. So that's very important as well, that you have separate account. If you're showing your business transactions, money on the business, then just a simple bank letter on the should suffice. Now, if you're showing your personal bank statements for 3-4 months and there's a big lump sum just before you apply for the visa, that's going to be a little bit of a hassle. That's going to be a red flag. They're going to say these funds are not available to you unless it's from your employer. Lump sums can be, but put in the additional information. This payment on this date was from employment. That's why it's just before the visa application, things like that. They don't like to see big lump sums just before you apply for the visa. They're gonna, especially if you're from like countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, countries that are red, don't give them the visa, do everything to refuse them the visa. So yeah, big lump sums just before you apply are a no-no unless they're from employment. And if you do have a big lump sum, explain it. Show them a receipt of sale of a car or a property. You've got a big amount of savings, and you're on a small salary. Let's say you've got $100,000 and your salary is only $1,000 a month. They're never going to believe it. So show how you got them savings. If it was an inheritance, show the death certificate. Show the letter from the lawyer transferring assets to you in savings and things like that. If you sold your flat, show the bill of sale. Again, show the legal documents to show that was sold, and use additional information. This flat was, these savings were accumulated from the sale of flat. Explain the situation. If it's from employment, explain that as well. Say, look, then you've got to show 6 months bank statements. If it's a lot of savings and you're on a small salary, and just put in additional information. I've been working 10 years for the same company, and these savings were accumulated through hard work. So explain everything. Guys, if you like this video, please subscribe. I need subscribers. You know, if you need me to help you with the visa, I do add a lot of value. I am quite affordable. Drop me a line and I'll happily help you. I'll even give you 10 minutes of advice for free. So feel free to contact me anyway, even if you don't want to use my paid services. Thanks a lot, guys. Much appreciated. Bye.